Hi, welcome to another episode of Coffee with Cliff. Today we're going to talk a lot about serial plates and the information you need to know on them. To help us out today, we have Colin Rocky from engineering.
Thanks for having me, Cliff.
All right, before we get started on the details of the serial plate, it's important to know that the exterior wall mount has a serial plate located on the side of the unit opposite of the control panel. So you want to find the control panel location. It will be located on the opposite side of the unit. Interior units will have the serial plate on the front of the control panel door inside the large exterior doors for servicing. There's also a secondary serial plate inside the unit on the low voltage terminal strip. So if the other serial plate has been painted over or is faded, look inside the control panel at where you wire in the thermostat or controller, and there'll be another serial plate there. Next, we're going to take a detailed look at the serial plate. First thing you're going to notice is we have the model numbers on the serial plate towards the top. You'll see an X that marks your specific unit that is used with the serial plate. Now, if we install a field installed electric heater kit, we'll have another sticker that will go over this side, and it will mark an X for the specific electric heater kit that's in the unit. Another important number on the serial plate is the serial number. This is what you're going to want if you're going to call tech services or your local bar distributor. They will need this number to identify which unit you have. So the first three digits of the serial number is going to specify which compressor is in the unit. Compressor prefixes are 8000. The next three digits are going to specify the date code of the unit. So the first letter is going to specify a month. The 22 part is the year that the unit was built. So it was built in 2022. And then the rest of the number is what you would need to identify this specific unit. All right, next Colin's going to help us with some electrical data that's on the serial plate.
The minimum circuit ampacity is the highest rated value or the highest amp draw we would expect during normal operation conditions. And that changes between air conditioners and heat pumps. ACs can only run electric heat only or the compressor, while heat pumps can run the compressor and electric heat simultaneously. So you have to determine what the highest amp draw would be. The MOCP, or in this case the max fuse or circuit breaker size, that has a higher safety factor than what the MCA does, and that is what we rate and specify the breaker needs to be. And then on the other side, we have the dual circuit ampacity ratings, which is the same thing, but if you remove the jumper bar, in the case of this specific unit, if you remove the jumper bar, then you can have two separate circuit breakers that then tell you what each circuit, what the amp draw is on each individual circuit breaker and what it's tied into. Next on the serial plate, if you go about a third of the way down, you can see that there's a short circuit current rating, which is 5 kA, and that's important to know. A little further down, you can see that there's the FLA, which is full load amps, and that is the highest amp draw that we found during UL 60335 psychrometric testing, specifically the CPI and HPI tests. Right next to that, you can see LRA, or locked rotor amps. Locked rotor amps are only called out for the compressor, and that is the amp draw you can expect upon startup of the compressor. And it's important to note that because that can affect generators. A little bit further down the serial plate, you can see the refrigerant type and the factory charge. And the refrigerant type, it can be 410A or R454B, and the charge is dependent on what charge was used during UL 60335 psychrometric testing. A little bit further over to the right of that, you can see that there's rated pressure, and this is not to be mistaken for operational pressure. This is not the pressure that our units run at. This is the pressure that our coils were tested at under UL 60335 burst pressure testing.
All right, a few other things to note is all of our equipment is AHRI certified. So you can go to the AHRI site and find the ratings for this unit, and they'll be listed in there. We're also ETL approved. So we have all the current safety testing, including UL 60335, which is our newest. So that pretty much concludes our look at the serial plate. I really want to thank Colin for his help today. He explained a lot to us about the electrical ratings that are on there. A lot of this can be found at www.bardhvac.com. Thanks a lot, Colin.
Thanks for having me, Cliff. I appreciate it.